Here we have examples of the three shape families: triangles, circles, and rectangles. Triangles, with their angled lines and sharp points, tend to be aggressive and action-oriented shapes. They carry a sense of dynamic movement and speed, and can be seen as dangerous, sharp, and might carry tension for the viewer. Circles, in contrast to triangles, don't have any hard edges or points, and tend to be more soft, welcoming, and safe. They are associated with designs that are meant to be cute, sensual, elegant, or flowing. I would also include curved arches, S-curves, and spirals in this design category. Finally, rectangles, with their hard edges and rigid angles, tend to convey a sense of strength, structure, security, and solidness. They are unmoving and heavy. It should be noted that these basic shapes can also be pushed towards the other shape families, borrowing aspects or qualities from these alternate shapes. For example, a triangle or rectangle might have rounded corners, giving them a bit of softness derived from the circle family. Or, a circle might be made into an octagon, giving it a harder or more rigid quality, closer to a rectangle. So how does this knowledge of basic shapes and their subconscious qualities actually translate into our character designs? As I mentioned earlier, virtually everything can be broken down into these three basic shape families, and their inherent qualities can be recognized and felt by the viewer. As a mental exercise, and to see the practical use of these shapes in design, let's explore our character examples from before and break them down into our three shape categories. So first we have triangles. Here we can see that both characters break down into triangular elements, but each with its own spin on those qualities. The warrior's design incorporates a lot of large, bowing triangles and a strong pyramid base, making him feel both aggressive and solid. He also has many smaller, jagged triangle shapes throughout his design that make his shape feel dangerous and sharp, something that might hurt us if we get too close. The rogue, on the other hand, is made up of delicately stacked triangles that are off balance from one another, and that teeter on a single point. This gives her design the feeling of movement, speed, and dynamism, which gives us a sense of her quickness and agility. Next, let's explore circles within these designs. The design of the warrior on the left has very few circles integrated within it. He is not a very safe, soft, or cute character, so a lack of circles is fitting. The few circular elements and curves that do exist within his design are chunky and have irregular straight edges, making them feel a bit more aggressive and hard. The rogue, on the other hand, has many circular and curving elements in her design, making her feel more soft, kind, and elegant. The flowing lines and S-curves help to make her an attractive and welcoming character. So here we can see how each design is influenced by rectangles and squares. Our warrior has a number of big blocky shapes within his design. He is a very solid and heavy character through and through, and this is reflected in the squareness of his head, limbs, and costume elements, as well as the large overall shape he takes. He feels like an unmoving brick wall, a formidable obstacle for the player. In contrast, the rogue has very few rectangular elements within her silhouette. She has a few costume items that have rectangles within them, but overall this lack of bulky, rigid rectangles actually helps the design in making her feel light, streamlined, and dynamic. This kind of shape recognition and purposeful use of design shapes might not be real intuitive right away. Learning the skills of a concept designer is one part mental study and learning, and one part intentional practice and repetition. When you first try to integrate these principles into your thumbnails, your designs may feel a bit unrefined, contrived, or awkward. You may feel the need to force triangles, squares, and circles into your characters. However, as you continue to study and learn about design, and practice drawing and designing over and over again, you should eventually start to feel these two parts merge together, in which you are able to quickly create design drawings that reflect these principles without too much conscious effort. Just keep at it. Alright, so on to our thumbnails. Let's take a quick look at our character brief, which we created last session. and remind ourselves of the character parameters, and also take a quick look at our visual reference sheet. So here are the parameters again. We have a male dwarf anti-hero. He exists within a light-hearted fantasy world. He is brash, headstrong, and keeps to himself, boxing at a local tavern to make ends meet. He is a skilled fighter and martial artist, and carries a signet ring of his disgraced clan.